When shopping for a used car with a budget of $5,000 or €5,000, the concept of reliability changes. At this price point, you aren't just buying a brand. You're buying how well the previous owner maintained it. However, choosing a car with a fundamentally bulletproof engine and transmission give you the best head start. Here are 10 of the most reliable, time-tested used cars you can find in this price bracket, focusing on models that are widely available across both the US and European markets. 1. Toyota Yaris, second and third generation. Engines to look for: 1.33 dual VTI, petrol; 1.51Z FE, petrol; 1.4D, 4D, diesel, Europe. Why it's here? The Yaris is virtually indestructible. It uses simple atmospheric petrol engines with timing chains that rarely fail. The suspension setup is basic and cheap to repair, and electronics are minimal. What to watch for: rust on early models and high oil consumption on poorly maintained 1.33 VVDI engines. Avoid the MMT automated manual gearbox. Stick to the standard manual. 2. Honda Civic, 8th and 9th generation. Engines to look for: 1.8 IVDC, petrol; 1.4 IVDC, petrol; 2.2 ICTD, and 1.6 IDDC, diesel, Europe. Why it's here? The 1.8-liter petrol engine is one of the best naturally aspirated four cylinders ever built. It offers decent power, excellent fuel economy, and absolute mechanical longevity. In Europe, the 2.2 and 1.6 diesels are legendary highway cruisers. What to watch for: rear suspension bushings, peeling clear coat, common on 8th gen, and stiff manual gearboxes if the fluid hasn't been changed. 3. Ford Fiesta, MK7 and 2008 to 2017. Engines to look for: 1.25, 1.4, or 1.6 Sigma, Zetec and Duratec petrol; 1.5 and 1.6 TDCI, diesel. Why it's here? The Fiesta is cheap to buy, incredibly cheap to fix, and handles beautifully. The older, naturally aspirated 1.25 and 1.4 Zetec petrol engines are remarkably tough. What to watch for: avoid the power shift automatic transmission at all costs. It is a notorious failure point. Also, skip early 3-cylinder EcoBoost engines if they don't have a flawless service history regarding the wet timing belt. Stick to a manual transmission and standard petrol engines. 4. Volkswagen Golf MK5 and MK6 and Skoda Octavia MK2. Engines to look for: 1.6 MPI, 8V petrol; 1.9 TDI, PD, Europe; 2.0 TDI, Common Rail, Post, 2008, Europe; 2.5 L5 cylinder, US. Why it's here? These cars share the VW Group PQ35 platform. If you find one with the old-school, sluggish but immortal 1.6 MPI, 102 horsepower, petrol engine or the legendary 1.9 TDI, it will run forever. In the US, the 2.5-liter inline 5 engine is an absolute tank. What to watch for: rust on sills and front fenders. Avoid early TSI and TFSI petrol engines, timing chain and oil burning issues, and early DQ 200 dry clutch DSG automatics. 5. Suzuki Swift, 3rd and 4th generation and post, 2005. Engines to look for: 1.3 or 1.5 M series, petrol; 1.2 dual jet, petrol. Why it's here? Suzuki builds phenomenal, lightweight, no-nonsense Japanese cars. The M-Series petrol engines use a robust timing chain and require nothing more than regular oil changes. What to watch for: input shaft bearings in the manual gearbox can become noisy over time. Rust underneath the car needs checking if you live in a salt-heavy winter climate. 6. Honda Jazz and Fit, 1st and 2nd generation. Engines to look for: 1.2 or 1.3 and 1.4 IDSI and IVDEC, petrol. Why it's here? Beyond being incredibly reliable, the Jazz and Fit has magic seats and offers the interior cargo space of a small van. Mechanically, the engines are bulletproof and highly efficient. What to watch for: water leaks into the trunk boot area, very common, but easily fixed with sealant. Rear wheel bearings can wear out prematurely. 7. Mazda 3, second generation and BL 2009 to 2013. Engines to look for: 1.6 MZR, petrol, 2.0 LF, and MZR, petrol. Why it's here? While the first generation Mazda 3 suffered terribly from rust, the second generation mostly solved this issue. The MZR petrol engines are naturally aspirated, chain-driven, and highly dependable. What to watch for: suspension components, strut mounts, and links. We're out on rough roads. Ensure the underbody has been rust-protected. 8. Hyundai i30 and Kia Ceed, first and second generation. Engines to look for: 1.4 or 1.6 Gamma, petrol, 1.6 CRD diesel. Why it's here? This is the era where Hyundai and Kia caught up to the Japanese in reliability. The 1.6 CRD diesel has no dual-mass flywheel on lower power versions and uses a durable timing chain, making it one of the most reliable modern diesels. What to watch for: cheap interior plastics that rattle, steering rack play, and occasional clutch master cylinder failures. 9. Volvo V70 and S60, second gen and up to 2007. Engines to look for: 2.4 naturally aspirated, petrol, 2.4 D5, diesel. Why it's here? If you need a large, comfortable highway cruiser or wagon, old 5-cylinder Volvos are legendary. The 2.4-liter naturally aspirated petrol and the early D5 diesel engines routinely pass 400,000 kilometers, 250,000 miles, with basic maintenance. What to watch for: high mileage means suspension overhauls are likely needed. PCV systems on petrol engines must be serviced to prevent oil leaks. 10. Toyota Avensis, MK2 and T250 and early MK3. Engines to look for: 1.8 VVDI, 1 ZFE Post, 2005, 2.0 VEI, 1 AZFSC, 2.0D, 4D, 1 AD-FTV. Why it's here? It's not an exciting car to drive, but it is an exceptionally built family sedan and wagon. It is comfortable, quiet, and incredibly resilient to daily abuse. What to watch for: early MK2 1.8 engines pre-2005 had a piston ring defect that caused massive oil consumption. Make sure to buy a facelift model. The golden rule for sub-5K cars: always prioritize a thick folder of service history and receipts over the brand name. A poorly maintained Toyota will give you more headaches than a meticulously serviced Ford. Thank you for watching the video, and I invite you to subscribe to the Automoto Freak channel. See you soon.